Hello ladies and gentlemen and welcome back to F1 2020. My team career mode here for round 14 of season 3. This is the Mexican Grand Prix and this is my strongest track on the calendar. It's the track I actually think 100% win rate at in career mode and league racing. So yeah, let's try not taint that image. As I said last season, I believe I proclaimed myself to be the King of Mexico. Probably could have worded the title a little bit better, but whatever. And as you can wonder why there's no qualifying, that's because I'm taking engine penalties as per usual. I'm taking them in this race because it's the easiest to overtake in the remaining races and it's my strongest one. So if ever I'm going to start at the back and have an overtaking montage, it's going to be this one. So I'll join you all for the start of the Mexican Grand Prix.
Overtaking two into the hard braking zones of turns 1 and turn 4. Anthony Davidson is alongside me as usual for the race today. Let's begin by discussing Daniel Ricciardo. Keep that momentum going this weekend.
It's always nice to come into a Grand Prix weekend on a high, but your expectations are based much more on your practice and qualifying runs. So it's the momentum from those sessions that they'll be hoping to carry into the race today.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The fence starts from pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Perez, Norris, Max Verstappen, and Ocon, Ricciardo, Leclerc, Fiat, and Carlos Sainz. Albon, they've taken a grid penalty. Stroll, Kevin Magnussen, and Grosjean, De Vries, Giovinazzi, Pierre Gasly, and Jack Aitken, Russell, Latifi, Matsushita, and Red. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
So here we are, lineup for the start of the Grand Prix. We're going to be choosing our strategy. We are going to be doing medium soft softs, as that is the fastest way around this track. I am looking at potentially doing the one stop at the wall stop. Is doable around here, although it is considerably slower. And just the medium soft allows us to be faster at the end of the race, and using the mediums at the start whilst we're cutting through the slower traffic. Basically everyone besides my teammate, the Mercedes. It means we're not wasting soft tyres effectively, and these things will be more durable under the dirty air and all of that stuff. This is why we're using the mediums. Only the person starting the mediums is Daniel Ricciardo, so going to be an interesting strategy from him. But here we are, get ready for the start of the race. We've got 5 red lights and it's lights out and away we go. We're going to fuel the car by just under a lap to give us make our car a little bit lighter at the start. We're going to be burning some ERS as it is season 3 now, so we can basically burn all of it going into turn 1. We're ahead of Matsushita before we get to the braking zone. Hopefully we're going to do a big lunge up the inside of a couple of cars. I want to take it carefully through turn 1 as we get a exceeding track limits warning, which we're going to have to be very careful of because it is Mexico. It is very difficult to avoid corner cutting around here. But we make it through the first sequence of corners, and we're up to 90th, make that 80th hour as we go to the inside of George Russell, go to turn 4, and then round the outside of his teammate Giovinazzi at the very next turn. So it's been a pretty good sector 1 as we now get around the outside of Gasly in turns 6 and 7. So we're definitely making decent progress at 6 positions before the end of the first lap. Hopefully we can register back at Grosjean and make that 7 positions, as indeed we are going to go for a tiny little look there. He was there's interesting braking there from both of us, but luckily we're getting back into the stadium section. That is going to be a happy hunting ground for me, and the spectators there are definitely going to get their money's worth out of the seats, because the AI seem to be very slow and very as use of a better word, probably submissive through that corner. They if you go around the outside or you go the inside, they'll give up the position without a second thought. So Anyway, we get at the inside of De Vries there into the first section of corners, but he gets us back under traction. Luckily, our straight line speed is going to allow us to go back up the inside and hold on to P14. I must say at this point we are running 11 on the rear wing, and I believe 5 or 6 on the front wing. I'm not entirely sure what my front wing was. As we get this out of Stroll there, I have to run very, very odd setups. It's almost like running a dry setup. The car is that quick now, and I've touched a bit on this previously, but it's a very odd feeling having to stick 11 on the front wing or running like 6.11 around here. I typically run 3.9, I think, around Mexico. So good straight line speed, but also good downforce. It's a nice mix. But with this, you've got to make the car so unstable, but also run really high rear downforce. Anyway, we cut on to lap 3 now, and we're going to make this 3 out of 3 moves in 3 laps on a car in the hairpin. Hopefully we can do. And Magnussen is going to be our victim, as we're looking for a move, and we get up the side of him into the stadium section. So we're doing very well so far. It's been 3 laps. We're currently up into P11, so 11 places gained, 11 places gained on the opening 3 laps. Hopefully we can make some more progress towards Carlos Sainz, who is just under a second of the road. DRS obviously is enabled now, so this should make overtaking considerably easier, as we do have a very quick car despite our high downforce setup. So maybe the AI wanted to run higher downforce setups too, which is odd. Anyway, we set a purple sector 1 as we get up the inside of Sainz there for P10, and now we're currently inside the points. And the Mercedes have kind of romped away a bit at the front. You can see there the first one going into turn 1 now, but it's not all too much of a bad gap. They are currently on the soft tyres, we're on the mediums. A couple more laps and our mediums will start to become considerably better than the soft tyres. So we're just got to wait for that point as we get round the outside of Leclerc there going into turn 1. And now that is P9. And next up is a big gaggle of cars. My teammate as well. This is a crucial thing to highlight, is currently stuck behind Sergio Perez and unable to get past him. So I am ever closing on my teammate. If my teammate had started on pole, I don't think I would be able to shout at winning this race. For obvious reasons, Daniel would have just stormed off into the distance and I couldn't have done anything about it, as we pull a move on Kvyat. This is sort of an overtaking montage really. But yeah, it's a good thing that Daniel's stuck behind Sergio. Otherwise he would be gone into the distance and he'd be well ahead of the Mercedes by now. And the pace in this car and the pace of me and Daniel will definitely allow us to go for 1-2 this race. It just depends. It really needs to be me on the top step of the podium, but we'll see. As we're currently into P7 after another move at turn 1 around the, I think it's the outside of Ocon. And next up we're going to be hunting down Verstappen and Norris. Hopefully get past them, or at least Verstappen this lap, into the stadium section, and then get Norris on the next set of straights as we heading towards the stadium section now. Will we get past Max? Going to go up the inside? Yes we do. A little bit of contact there, and we are going to review that because that was quite an aggressive move by me, and we're going to have to go back and just see that was all like that was allowed essentially. Because we don't have to be pulling overly aggressive moves. I mean, there's nothing we could do now. I mean, I could force myself to give myself a penalty, but looking at the steering input from Max, he sees me coming, but he still continues to turn left. So it was an aggressive move, but I'm at the quicker car at this point, so I guess a little argy-bargy isn't all too bad. He's turning, but he's not turning enough, and he's not covering the inside. So maybe a bit 50-50 there. I'm not entirely sure. I think it would just be classed as a racing incident. And that's what we're going to treat it as we didn't actually get a warning from the game tell us that we made contact with Max. And now we get around the outside of Lando Norris into turn 1, so making very good progress, only 7 laps in, and we're up to P5. And my teammate is 4.5 seconds up the road, who has got ahead of Stroll has got ahead of Sergio. So Ricciardo's going to be making some massive inroads on the cars ahead, as now we're close up to the back of Perez. We're going to get him on lap 9. My teammate, we've closed about 7 tenths on him. He's only 3.6 ahead of us. And we are up into P4. So it's been very good so far, as my teammate is now currently in the DRS of Valtteri ahead in P2, so expecting him to make a move in the next couple of laps. So lap 11 now, these softs are pretty much done. Hamilton pitted on this lap, so he's definitely doing the 2-stop as we get past Valtteri on the straight here. And we're only 1.6 seconds behind our teammate now. So effectively, the Chungus Khan Racing boys are running 2 and 3. Obviously, once Hamilton, once the pit stops shake out, we'll still be behind Hamilton, I reckon, because of the undercut. Saying that though, he's 18.5 seconds behind, so we might be okay, as we're getting preference over pit stops despite being behind Daniel, and we're going to be coming in to put on a set of the soft compound tyres, as we're still sticking to the 2-stop strategy, which is the considerably faster strategy. And now it's crucial, we're definitely going to emerge ahead of Bottas. Will we emerge ahead of Hamilton, who is doing soft medium? And us doing medium soft means we're going to be extremely quick towards the end of the race. And coming out of the pits, Hamilton is ahead. He's ahead by what will probably be around 2 seconds. So I don't think we actually lost too much time. I don't remember the gap, but I think we gained time. As now on lap 16, Daniel is out on hards, which is a very interesting strategy decision for him, as we're going to be making a move for the lead here around the outside of Hamilton. Now, Daniel doesn't have to pit again. However, he is on a considerably slower tyre than myself, but we know Daniel's AI, he's very strong. He's able to pull out fastest laps at the end of a race on a long hard stint. But on 25, when we're pitting, we are going to another set of softs, obviously. We've pulled 50 seconds to Daniel, so obviously the hards not really the choice, because when we come out we're going to be 5 seconds behind him, I reckon. Well, obviously we don't have to worry about the Mercedes at this point. Hamilton is 43 seconds behind us, which is ridiculous. The pace of this car is just something else. And as we emerge back on the track with 11 laps to go, these soft tyres will easily make it to the end of the race. We are exactly 5 seconds behind Daniel, so not far off of the guess there. And providing we can catch up to him and not get any penalties, it looks like it's going to be a done deal. As here on lap 28, me and Ricardo are having to negotiate some lapped cars, so this is going to get tasty, as we've got flashbacks between Hakkinen and Schumacher at Belgium here, as we're going to go round the outside of Ricardo, around the stadium section, and we managed to get the move done, and we're going to be protected from from Daniel with Nick De Vries's DRS. And you can see that I'm very happy that I moved wiggling the wheel in happiness, as now on fresh softs compared to his old hards, and with the DRS we're going to be safe, definitely for this lap. And yeah, that was it really. We picked up a 3-second penalty, but we gained 11 seconds to Daniel. We got the fastest lap. I was pushing at the end of this race to get fastest lap, but it wasn't going to happen. The tyres were too short, and I decided to play very safe. We're going to come across the line last to first for I think the 3rd season in a row, and it's a win in Mexico and a much needed 26 points to our championship, 8 points over Daniel now, so I believe that brings the gap up to 10 points in the championship.
Spectacular victory then, and with it, the championship is secure. It's been a magnificent season, and they thoroughly deserve the cheers of the crowd here today. Tell me, Ant, how do you think they were able to deliver such an incredible result today?
Well, when you overtake that many people, I'd certainly hope you'd win the race. The car was really effective in the slipstream here today, and the team will be pleased that they didn't cook the engine with the car longer responding in hot air behind other cars. They had a lot of confidence to push their tyres hard, well, especially going into the corners. It was great braking and some exciting passes.
The faces on our top 3 look so incredibly happy as they make their way up to the podium. A much-deserved victory and a brilliant performance from them all.
So there are the race results. As you can see, coming from 22nd to win the Grand Prix. Yeah, I was very, very happy with that result. We lapped every single person apart from the top 5. And I reckon if I'd have started like where I should have, which would probably been first, I reckon Mexico is one of those few tracks I can get pole against the AI at. I reckon we'd have lapped everyone apart from my teammate. His one stop paid off somewhat. I mean, he stayed ahead of the Mercedes, but that's only really due to the raw pace of the car. As you can see, a couple of other people doing the one stop, but not really profiting from it. And here you can see a championship battle is only 10 points between myself and Ricardo, with 2 races remaining. So yeah, it's going to be interesting, the championship fight. The constructors is well and truly secured. It was secured, halfway through the season, effectively. And yeah, we had good pace this race. I'm very happy with my pace here. I always am. It's definitely probably one of my strongest tracks, so these top 3. And that's proven by the fact that our fastest lap was 1.6 seconds faster than Daniel's. Though granted, he was on hards when he set that lap, but then again, that's his decision to do that. We are currently drawing with Valtteri in terms of the rivalry. But whilst we are just going through, finish up the video, let's think about the remainder of the season. There are 52 points up for grabs in the final 2 races. And next race is Brazil. I can win the championship next episode. If I win the race and get fastest lap and Daniel does not score, that will allow me to win. Actually no. If Daniel doesn't score, I only need 17 points to secure it. 16, I believe, but then I also have to win Abu Dhabi, because I'm not quite sure. I think me and Daniel are very closely tied on wins this season. I might be 1 ahead. But yeah, I can win it next episode, but the likelihood of Daniel retiring is very, very low, unless some just insane Pastor Maldonado chance that he gets damaged and retires. But anything's possible. Championship is up for grabs next episode, but I doubt it'll happen. So what we've got to do is we've got to try and get as high as we can. If we're going to lose points, make sure it's the lowest amounts and still hold the advantage going to Abu Dhabi, because that is definitely a strong track for me. And we should be ahead of Daniel there. Brazil, not so much, as it's going to be quite difficult to get a decent setup around. There is one of those tracks which requires you to have good rotation, but also good grip throughout the corners, good top speed. It's one of those nightmare tracks that, for especially these cars, it's hard to get a good setup for. So yeah, that's it. We're just spending some resource points. Don't really do anything, as no rule changes are coming into effect for next season. But if you did enjoy this video, please do leave a like, share, subscribe, and let me know. We'll be able to pick up the championship in the final 2 races of this season. Let me know your thoughts, and I'll catch you for some more F1 2020 content very soon.